This 14 First Alert Special Report, Day of Darkness, sponsored by Expressway Ford.
Welcome to our 14 First Alert Special Report, Day of Darkness. I'm here with Krista McEnany to talk about a once-in-a-lifetime event, a total solar eclipse that will cut right through the United States and almost directly through the tri-state this year. Now, Krista's been doing a lot of research on this event, and you want to make sure you don't miss it, right?
That's right, Jeff. We're really fortunate to have this event come through our area. It's a major event. They're calling it the Great American Eclipse, and it will happen on August 21st, 2017.
On that day, the moon will pass directly in front of the sun, creating a 60-mile-wide swath of its shadow that sweeps its way across the country from coast to coast. And you won't want to miss it.
I've experienced one eclipse, and it was a doozy. We can expect, if it's clear, the sky will darken, the moon will completely cover the sun. We'll have, for 2 minutes and 41 seconds, darkness where you can see the outer atmosphere of the sun. You can't see it except during this time. The moon is the blackest black you've ever seen, and the stillness that everybody experiences is something that's really a once-in-a-lifetime event.
The moon's shadow isn't the only thing that's likely to get your attention.
Another noticeable thing is that the temperature will drop like 10 to 15 degrees when the sun gets completely covered, and that's pretty spectacular. You'll notice effects with animals, birds and so forth. They start acting like it's sunset.
In the days leading up to the eclipse, tens of thousands of people will all be converging upon western Kentucky.
It's a big event, and there will probably be people coming in from all over the world to see this. There are people that their main thing is they'll travel all over the world to go see one.
Places like Evansville will only see a deep partial eclipse of about 99%. But if you live in the tri-state, you're in a great jumping off spot. Totality is just an hour and 20 minutes away in Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
We are at the point, we're basically at the center. We are where the sun, the moon, and the earth line up almost exactly in a straight line, as close as possible. And so we are the special point for that reason.
They've been planning for years to host a slew of visitors, and they're not taking this opportunity for granted.
To have it happen in your own backyard where you just have to step outside and look up and see it is rare, because the total eclipse is visible from such a small area, just a strip of land across the world.
And no matter what area you're located, the message is clear.
Eclipses don't happen that often, and when they do, you should take advantage of it. The sun is in our sky every day. To see it covered by the moon is unlike anything that you'll ever experience. The darkness, the wonder, the blackness of the moon, the outer atmosphere of the sun that you only see during these events.
You definitely want to take the day off from work to see this thing. I mean, this is one of the most spectacular things that you can see.
It won't happen very often, and this is one that you will not want to miss.
So what can we expect on August 21st? Well, it's a Monday, very much like any other Monday. But this day, the skies will darken, black as night. The temperature will drop. Animals will prepare for a night of sleep just after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Eric Garlick shows us exactly what it will look like in the sky.
On that Monday, August 21st, 2017, the sun will rise shortly after 6 a.m. About 6 hours later, the fun begins. At 11:56 a.m. Central Time, the eclipse will start. It will take 84 minutes for the moon to block out the sun completely, which is called totality. That happens at 1:24 p.m., and depending on where you are in the tri-state, the length of that totality will vary.
If you were right dead center in the center of the path, you would see 2 minutes and 40 seconds, say if you're in Hopkinsville. As you move away from that, the very center of the path, you're reducing the amount of totality so that when you get to the edge of the path there, it's like you're down to like 1 minute and something.
Mike says that we are very lucky because of where we are located. Between Carbondale, Illinois and Hopkinsville, Kentucky, we will get a chance to see the totality for the longest amount of time in the country. And 2 minutes and 40 seconds is a fair amount of time compared to other eclipses.
Total solar eclipses can vary the length of the duration of the total phase of the eclipse. I think the longest can be up to like 7 minutes, and it varies from eclipse to eclipse.
By 2:51 p.m., the eclipse will be over, and we won't see another one until 2024.
The last total eclipse for us, 148 years ago. That's more than 24,000 days. This comes all the way through Canada, follows the Missouri River, and comes through our area. 1869. Ulysses S. Grant was the president. There's only 37 U.S. states, and Princeton and Rutgers play the first college football game. Rutgers wins. The Cincinnati Red Stockings, the first pro baseball team, and the Wyoming Territory give women the right to vote.
The rarity of this event isn't something that Hopkinsville is taking for granted. They've been planning for this event for years. Krista McEnany was there to get a peek into this massive undertaking.
I get phone calls every day from people from across the world. We have a group of about 25 scientists coming from Japan, 150 coming from the United Kingdom, about 50 from Brazil, people coming from all over the world, really to witness this event here, the point of greatest eclipse, and have the best view for this event.
And NASA designated that point as right here along this field. This is where the moon's axis will be closest to the Earth. So essentially that means this location is where you'll get that best view of the solar corona, that moment the moon blocks the sun. With more than 15 events planned for the community, which they say is more than any other city along the path of totality, Hopkinsville is hard at work planning every little detail.
Everything from our transportation and safety committees, which are working diligently on traffic patterns and how people are going to get around when they're in the community, to communication, setting up temporary cell phone towers on different areas in the northern part of our county so that people will have cell phone service while they're here in town.
Visitors can take part in a variety of unique events, from live music at their Summer Salute Festival, Comic-Con, all the way to watching the eclipse in a way you may have never imagined.
One thing somebody doesn't think about is, what does a solar eclipse look like underwater? And that's what we're hoping to see come August 21st.
Pennyroyal Scuba Blue Springs is Kentucky's only full-service diving destination, and divers come from all over the region to dive here. But the plunge on August 21st will be a little bit different.
We do night diving out here throughout the summer, and they're calling for 2 minutes and 40 seconds worth of darkness. So it's going to be night diving during the day.
And they're inviting all certified divers to come out for their special Eclipse Diver certification to help commemorate the event.
I've never seen a full total eclipse, so whether you're sitting in your lawn chair watching it through a telescope or whatever, or you're sitting on one of our platforms underwater, it ought to be something pretty interesting to see.
With just under 5 months left, there's still more planning to be done.
This event develops more every day, and so as we see something new that we need to plan for or address, we evaluate that, form a committee, or just get the right folks in the room to have a discussion about what needs to be done.
Among the town's special guests, NASA scientists, who will also be there for the eclipse. Anything you need to know about watching the eclipse from Hopkinsville is there too. It's on their website, and we've set up a link on our website, 14news.com.
The Evansville Museum is planning an eclipse weekend to get people excited. August 19th and 20th will be filled with workshops and shows relating to the total solar eclipse. Saturday's activities are geared towards families and students, while Sunday's events will be tailored to amateur astronomers. Then on Monday, the museum is chartering a bus to go down to Hopkinsville.
What happens is we have parking passes, and we have a spot in Hopkinsville picked out, and you'll be with hundreds of other people who will be at our site, and thousands and maybe even tens of thousands of other people that are in Hopkinsville. And we give you a parking pass, and we get you in.
Check out the museum's website for a list of times and prices. It also has an eclipse countdown on it.
So how will the eclipse help the economy? It looks like the sun will shine on locals who are renting hotel rooms and campsites to visitors from all over the world.
With the solar eclipse, there's three main characters. The dark side of the moon gets between the sun and the earth. Doesn't happen very often. It can only occur at new moon. Why doesn't it happen at every new moon? Because the moon tilts with a 5-degree tilt with respect to the earth. Doesn't happen very often, but we'll see another one soon.
Calls are coming in from all over the country to Hopkinsville, Kentucky, the best place to view the solar eclipse. The whole town is getting ready for huge crowds in August. Hotels are filling up and campsites getting booked just for this long weekend in August. Community members hoping this 2 minutes and 40 seconds of darkness will shine a light on their hometown pride. Beth Sweeney reports.
We're going to literally have thousands upon thousands of people coming from all over the world.
The people of Hopkinsville, Kentucky are ready to serve up some Southern hospitality.
This event, like no other, is truly bringing us to people who have never heard of Hopkinsville, Western Kentucky, or Evansville, Indiana, for that matter.
Mayor Carter Hendricks expects the weekend of the eclipse to be a major economic boost.
We've seen some numbers in the $30 million range just for the 4 or 5 day weekend of the total solar eclipse. That's using a multiplier effect of the spending in hotel rooms, the spending in restaurants, the spending in local stores, and how many times that turns over in your community.
Local businesses already cashing in. The owner of Milkweed designed eclipse t-shirts, catching the eye of shoppers.
People who wouldn't normally come in here and get, a bag of tea or some handmade soap, but they've seen the solar eclipse t-shirts and are like, this is the coolest t-shirt I've ever seen. And we've had a lot of sales.
And you don't want to waste any time finding a place to stay.
We've been getting phone calls since 2012 for people requesting reservations.
The Comfort Suites manager says those calls are coming from all over the world.
From the United Kingdom, Australia, China, Japan, the Netherlands, and New Zealand.
Rooms there are going for around $500 a night with a 3-night minimum, but the hotel will donate some of that revenue to local charities.
We're not all just taking it in for us, we're also going to be giving back to the community.
If you're on a tight budget, campsites are being set up all over town. 2 minutes and 40 seconds of darkness, putting the heart of Hopkinsville in the spotlight.
We have a great chance to showcase what makes our community and our region so special, and hopefully put Hopkinsville on the map for decades to come.
Well, Hopkinsville isn't the only city that's cashing in on the Great American Eclipse. When we come back, Krista McEnany will take you to a tri-state city that hopes to see green when the skies turn dark.
The sun is 400 times larger than the moon, but the sun is 400 times farther away. What a coincidence how that works out. You can view the eclipse with just your eyes. That's the best way to view it, or you can use binoculars. And the next one, well, we're not going to wait 148 years. It's going to happen in just 7 short years in 2024 in the month of April.
Madisonville, Kentucky will also be in the dark on the afternoon of Monday, August 21st. But until then, they told Krista McEnany how they are making the light shine on them while they prepare their residents and surrounding community for this once-in-a-lifetime event.
I just want to know what it looks like. The only ones I've seen is like in our textbook about them.
And soon, Nicholas and millions of others will see one with their own eyes.
On average, a locality only experiences a total eclipse of the sun every 340-something years. So this is an incredible multi-generational opportunity for the city of Madisonville.
And they want to invite surrounding communities to enjoy it with them.
We're going to offer festivals, concerts, events, things that they can come and enjoy the whole weekend, and then get to share the eclipse together that Monday.
And with its many outdoor spots like Marr Park, you'll have the chance to get the full experience.
Based on our conversations with eclipse coordinators and eclipse chasers, they tell us that the premium environment to watch a solar eclipse is in a natural setting where you can take advantage of some of the other things that happen, not just darkness, but when darkness comes, the temperature will go down, the winds will die down, the birds will fly into the trees to roost. So it really impacts a lot more than visually what's going on in the environment.
The fun will start that Saturday, where they're hoping to have a weekend full of activities.
But that weekend is going to be likely really hot. We're going to have a lot of visitors here. So we've been looking for some opportunities for some water activities.
And that's not all.
There are some things in the works, a really exciting event in the works for Saturday night, August the 19th.
But you'll have to wait for the big news.
We're not ready to reveal those details just yet, so stay tuned.
We'll bring you those events when they're announced, and you can also find them on their website and Facebook page. We posted those links on 14news.com.
With such a spectacular event as the Great American Eclipse, you'll be tempted to look at it, but don't. There are safe ways that you can look at the sky, and it's dangerous if you don't follow the safety rules. Krista McEnany will be back with safe viewing tips for the Great American Eclipse. For many, this total solar eclipse is a once-in-a-lifetime sight, and you wouldn't want to miss it. Krista McEnany tells us some safe ways to see it and warns about the damage that can occur if you're not careful.
All eyes will soon be on the skies for this summer's total solar eclipse. Just make sure yours are protected from damaging UV radiation.
It can cause problems such as a photokeratitis, which is an inflammation of the cornea, the front surface of the eye, which is very similar to a sunburn on the skin.
It can also lead to cataracts or a much more serious condition called photoretinitis.
You can get lasting effects from that, such as blind spots in the eye or decreased visual clarity permanently.
And it doesn't take very long to cause damage.
If you're looking at the sun without any magnification objects, damage can occur in as little as 30 seconds with direct exposure. If you're looking at them through a pair of binoculars or a telescope, damage can occur within a fraction of a second.
A warning, sunglasses won't reduce the light enough. So Evansville Astronomical Society's Mike Borman says one safe option is solar eclipse glasses.
And they block out 99.99% of the light. And the only thing that will get through this is the image of the eclipse sun.
You could also get plastic ones to cover your eyeglasses or special eclipse filters for binoculars.
These are just some regular 10 by 50 binoculars, and you can buy filters that fit over the end away from the eyepiece. That's very important. And then that safely brings the light down enough where you can view it.
But there's even a cheaper option.
If you don't want to spend any money at all you got to do is go underneath a tree with a nice leaf canopy, and the openings in the leaves hitting the ground will form little images of the eclipse all over the ground.
You also wouldn't need any special eyewear to see something called shadow bands.
You'll just have a little sliver of sunlight left.
And they happen as the sun peeks through the mountains on the moon.
This is just a white plastic tablecloth. If you have that stretched out on the ground, probably have to weight down the end so it doesn't blow away. But you'll actually see these sort of shadow bands go streaming across that as the sun is disappearing.
Borman says no matter where you plan to take in the eclipse, take time to protect your eyes. We posted more safety viewing tips on 14news.com. And keeping you informed and safe is our top priority here. So over the coming weeks and months leading up to this major event, you can look to us to bring you everything you need to know.
That's exactly right. And for the 14 First Alert team and 14 News, thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching a 14 First Alert Special Report, Day of Darkness, sponsored by Expressway Ford.